Hi everyone, this is Emily with Meta Perfume coming to you from Los Angeles. And it's a crazy time. I wanted to post a perfume journal, give my thoughts on some how things are going with perfume. I know that there's a lot of stress in the country right now, and so I wanted to kind of share how I am using fragrance as part of my coping skills, coping mechanisms to help get through this stressful time. And if there's anything in here that might help you too, that would be wonderful. So just wanted to share a couple thoughts here. And first I want to say I recently started a new job, thankfully, thank God, with Disney. I'm working for them for a few months. And then I also just today heard that I'll be onboarding with another IT consulting company after that. So I'm very excited about that. And I celebrated my Disney contract by buying something that had been on my wish list for a really long time. And that was the Elizabeth Arden White Tea Mini Corfette set, which is a little set of minis, you know how I like minis, of the white tea vanilla orchid and the white tea wild rose flankers. And so I just wanted to start and talk a little bit about those. I tried first the vanilla orchid, and the vanilla orchid has got top notes of lemon, bergamot, quince, and alemi, and then middle notes of white tea, gardenia, jasmine, and vanilla orchid, and then a base of ambrette, orris, vanilla, musk, and amberwood. And people say that the vanilla is the most prominent note, followed by vanilla orchid, and then the white tea. And this is a really nice, fresh, clean smelling addition of the white tea. It's not quite as green, I don't think. The vanilla is what people say they smell the most, so it's kind of a vanilla-y version. But it's really nice. I really like this version of vanilla orchid white tea flanker. The next one I tried was the wild rose flanker, and I have to say I didn't like that one quite as much, although people on Fragrantica seem to like it more. It's a really heavy rose smell, and I do like rose, but this is like a serious rose. So I was thinking I would use this to add rose to other things. I paired it with Club de Nuit Intense by Armaf, and kind of added a little rose. People say they think it's good for spring. I think this is a winter perfume. I think it's very strong. So if you like rose, this is great longevity. The notes are two different types of rose, which is what people say that they can smell the most, and I agree. Super rosy. And then it's got white tea, pear blossom, red currant, and palmarosa, peony, clary sage, which is a strange note, musk, tonka, mate, and amber in it. So yeah, I feel like this one you can go just really light on the sprays, unless you adore rose, because it's super rosy. And it's good. It's not my favorite of the set. I'd say I like the original and the vanilla orchid a little bit better than this one, but if you're a huge rose fan, you might prefer this. So that's my mini Corfette set. And I also want to talk about how I use perfume when I'm sad. So if I'm stressed or I'm sad and I'm not feeling well, I will go into perfumes that I have like maybe samples of that I dislike or don't like that much, and I'll use those during the times when I'm unhappy, so that I don't associate my favorite perfumes or my good perfumes with bad times. And then I have something that I've kind of a scent memory that's associated with these bad times that is a scent that I'm not that keen on in the first place. So a couple things this does is like keeps me from having negative associations with my favorite fragrances. It also lets me revisit the times, and it seems like that are not so good, and it seems like sometimes I'll actually learn to like those scents that I didn't like initially for some reason, which is interesting too. So right now what I'm doing is going back into my samples and pulling out kind of my this week is kind of my like mediocre samples, and not the ones that I really like that I would buy full bottles of, and not the ones that I really don't like that much, but the ones that are kind of in the middle. So this week I've gone through my little samples of Magnolia Nobile by Aqua de Parma. And I liked that one actually. It's a nice light fruity. I'd say the longevity is not so good, and I would say that is actually a good summer floral. I would wear it in the high heat. I think it was too cold this week and I had to use it too quickly and too much of it. But in the high heat, if you want a floral that's nice and light, I would recommend the Magnolia Nobile by Aqua de Parma, because it also has, like, besides the florals, it has a citrus kind of lift to it as well. So I think it would be good as a summer floral fragrance. Then I went through my Carolina Herrera by Carolina Herrera for women. And that is a very old perfume. I think it came out in the late 80s. It's considered a white floral with animalic notes. So it's got ylang ylang and jasmine and tuberose. And then a note of civet is fairly prominent in it as well. So there's a little bit of, like, I could smell sometimes a little bit of like a urine note in there, pee note. But it was only like if I turned it a certain way or if I smelled it, and then it would kind of go away. So it wasn't very prominent. I think it's a fine fragrance. It just isn't something I would ever buy a full bottle of. And again, it has civet, so I'm never clear if that's a vegan fragrance or not, which makes me lean more towards I wouldn't purchase it. Then I used up my Prada Candy Sugar Pop, and I do not like that perfume. Yeah, I think it's meh. Luckily I only had a little bit left, and I went through it pretty quickly one morning and was just like, okay, I'm done with that one, throw it away. So that was good. Then I went into my sample of the Hippie Chic by True Religion, and I really like that fragrance. It's a fruit forward, like apple, red apple, prominent, with pomegranate and raspberry. And I actually stopped using that one because I thought I liked it too much to associate it with a stressful week. So it's not very good longevity, and I wanted to look into getting another like version of it, like a gift set that has a body wash and a lotion, so that the lack of longevity could kind of be counterbalanced by using it with other products with the same scent. And I believe that those are discontinued, because when I tried to find them online, they were expensive. So a 4-piece set with like a 3.4 ounce bottle of the True Religion, plus a small travel size mini, plus a body wash and a lotion, was $115 at the lowest. And then I saw it for $120, saw it for $140. Once I had it for like $300 something, and I was like, oh my god. And then, so that I think is discontinued. That fragrance itself might even be discontinued, but still widely available, although I'm not sure about that. So yeah, True Religion by Hippie Chic. I like that one. I didn't finish the whole sample. I'm kind of saving it now because I didn't want to use it up, because I was like, I like this one too much. And now I'm using Peonia Nobile by Aqua de Parma right now. And this has got a lot of peony and a dusty rose, and it's nice. I would not buy a full bottle of it, but I don't mind wearing it. I think it's good for spring and probably fall. And it's a rose that's not overpowering. It's, you know, a pretty well-balanced rose. So that is the Aqua de Parma by Peonia, the Peonia Nobile by Aqua de Parma. That's what I'm going through now. And another interesting thing I wanted to mention was that I've heard reported a couple times now that they think that the super spreaders, the people who don't have symptoms but can still shed virus, may have a telltale symptom, which is that they lose their sense of smell and taste, which made me think, oh, well, that's interesting, because I'm always smelling things, and then I can use my sense of smell possibly to notice if I might have been infected without getting the telltale, most common and harsher symptoms. So I'm paying very close attention and smelling my perfumes all the time. So, you know, encourage you, if you are in the house, obviously perfumes will distract you, they'll uplift your mood, but they also might help you to detect if you've contracted coronavirus and aren't necessarily symptomatic. So pay attention to your sense of smell, your sense of taste, and, you know, keep smelling your perfume. I also called my grandmother. I've been calling my grandparents a lot, just trying to get through to them that, you know, this is like super dangerous for them. And I asked my grandma to pull out her perfume, which was fun. She has, I think, Just Beautiful by Estee Lauder, and I asked her to smell it, and she said, yes, I can smell it. I was like, good, keep using this. And she said, oh, this will also remind me of my sister who passed away years ago. So that was sweet, you know. Grandma will be reusing her perfume more often now and getting reminded of her late sister, which is nice. And then what else am I doing? Just a few more things. It's just kind of just to ease my mind, I'm using tea tree oil and just doing like alternate nostril breathing. Now, if you can't smell tea tree oil, you really lost your sense of smell, because that's some strong stuff. And tea tree is an antiviral. They use it in wartime to treat like open wounds. It's also good for respiratory issues, so I'm just using this to kind of, I don't know, ease my own mind. And I'm planning to chop up some raw garlic and chug it down with some water. I'm not chewing it, but I will be eating a little bit of that just to help you boost the immune system. So yeah, this is Emily, and it's towards the end of March here in lockdown in California, and I'm using perfume to kind of help me through this time, and I hope that you find some interesting insights here, and I hope that you're doing well and keeping your spirits up. And yeah, thanks and take care. Please subscribe, please comment if you have anything you want to share. I would love to hear your feedback, and give it a like. Thanks. Take care. Bye bye.